Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hanging in there. A little jealous of my dog. He's loudly snoring on the couch near me. So if you hear that, that's what that is.
my my dog is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, he's not
There you
all.
go.
Yeah, he's a fan of the afternoon naps. He's really embracing being an old man. So he's living for this.
Good for him.
Oh, I'm jealous. That's really all it comes down to. That's where any of the negativity is. I just wish I was him.
Exactly.
How
What a simple life it would be.
Yeah, right? I mean, though I guess we all spent a lot of time stuck indoors napping more than we used to, so, maybe there's something there.
That is a great point you make.
How what did you do besides napping for the last year? Like what was your keep sane and not tear your hair out sort of method?
Oh God, man. I would kind of go through phases of things. I'm really a horrible cook,
Mhm.
and I'm I'm not talented in that regard. But I thought, you know what? If there's ever been a time, it's now. So I've been trying to cook more, which has been okay.
Mhm.
Been doing a lot of baking. I love sweets, so that gives me more incentive to want to, cook,
Yeah.
especially when it's a dessert item. I get more excited. So that's been fun. It's been so nice having a dog. It's so
Yeah.
nice. Just feels like you feel like a reason to get out of the house and walk the dog, and that's been really helpful. Yeah, I remember going to a concert. It was March 11th or something.
Yeah.
And feeling for the first time this is a little bit nerve. No one wearing. Obviously at that time no one's wearing masks or anything, and I was just like, oh man, this is kind of scary.
Yeah, my birthday was the 13th, so it was I was there with you, but
the 13th, yeah, exactly.
yeah, and then you also put out a movie during this time, which is, good and bad. I mean, on the one hand, more people probably see it in this way, but on the other hand, I'm sure you're an outdoorsy person also by nature. I'm sure going out and promoting a movie is beats sitting at home and talking to me.
I think, like you said, I think that there are positives and negatives. Obviously, I was so excited. I think it was the Tribeca Film Festival in April of last year that we were going to premiere this film in the U.S., and we were starting to book our flights, and then everything changed. So I was looking forward to that. But with that being said, a lot of these smaller movies that are being released VOD, a lot of people are seeing them. So that is also really cool. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. And it's also sort of another realm for you just because, you've had the smaller movie that blew up in a way. Like It Follows, I'm sure, did better than people were expecting, even though I'm sure making it, you were, proud of it and thought, oh, this could be good. Not like, oh, I'm at Cannes now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And then having made a giant blockbuster and having done, more sort of, they're genre films, but I would say Villains and The Guest, have more fun with the idea of it. So you've done a lot of different things that have come out on different scales. So, at the end of the day, I guess this is just one more, hey, I also made a movie no one could go see. So, but it's not a bad thing this time.
I like that. Yes. A whole new area that I've covered.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
It's and even just with this project, obviously there's a really good cast involved, and with the other things, what attracts you to the project? Because I'm sure after It Follows, you get every horror script going, oh, they tag you as Scream Queen or whatever. But what interests you? What's something that makes you want to, movie wise, get out of bed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in my career, I've gone through phases where initially, when I first wanted to start to act, it was any job that I can get and I'm able to pay rent and feed myself is amazing. I don't care what it is. I'm just trying to get a job and make money. And then it follows, and the guests came along, and I really had no idea that they would blow up the way that they did, but it kind of changed my career in a way where I didn't have to do every project. I was able to, like, you know, somewhat pick and choose and, like, think what would be, you know, cool jobs and, you know, cool roles. And now I feel like it's a lot about who I want to work with.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a really big reason why I wanted to do this. I was a massive fan of Matthias. I think he's an insanely talented actor. And the thought of, like, being able to work with him was so cool. And obviously Joel is amazing. And I think he does such interesting projects. And so working with him, and then, you know, I didn't know much about this director, but I ended up watching his previous film. And just really, I thought the style and the execution was done so well. So for me, it was like, man, this seems like such a cool group of people to work with that I feel that I can learn from and grow from. And so that was really the main reason of wanting to do this project.
Yeah. And I got to imagine it's a really good feeling when you do get to, like, you know, from phase one of, okay, you want me to be in this and it's not porn, I'm in. Great. It's money. Let's do it. And then, like, like, I'm sure it's not like it doesn't feel that way at the time, but the first time you can say no and not, like, regret it and not go, oh, I wish I'm turning down work, where you can go, no, I know I can, you know, my value is X, you know, in terms of how I want to spend my time. That's got to be a fulfilling feeling as an actress of going, okay, I've reached a point. I'm now, you know, at a level that, you know, 1% of the world is at. And, you know, even anything beyond that is even smaller.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, it is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. So I just feel so incredibly lucky, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got to imagine it's got to have a similar feeling to sports and, like, kiteboarding. Like, when you do it well, oh, wait, everything sort of changes when I'm not just doing it for fun or trying to, you know, make a name for myself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I feel like I learned so much from being an athlete prior to pursuing acting. I feel like, you know, there are a lot of, I mean, obviously it's incredibly different, but there are similarities. And, you know, you get knocked down so many times. The amount of times that, like, I would mess up in competition and I wouldn't land a trick. And there were so many times back to back, but I would grow from each of these experiences. And you just got to be able to take it. And I feel like that's similar with acting, where I've been told no so many times. I mean, like, you know, a million no's versus one yes. And so you have to be tough and you have to be driven and not to give up. And I feel like that was a huge lesson that I learned for being an athlete. Oh
yeah. Being told no seems like it's a skill you need to have to do this. Otherwise it's not going to go well.
Yes.
When you,
absolutely.
I got to imagine early on, you know, at least in the back of your mind, having the athletics there makes you think, like, okay, I can do sort of more physical things if needed. That's a skill set that maybe sets me apart. You know, maybe they don't have to use a stunt person, or maybe they can look at me in that way. But you've done more dramatic things. Like, this is way more of just a drama. Was that something you had to develop, or is that, do you take more pride in being able to do this as opposed to, like, get knocked off something and not, you know, have to have a double?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I really enjoy delving deep into characters, and that's just, to me, the best part of the job that I have, is being able to experience not only my life, but be able to spend time in these different worlds and different minds. Not to say that I don't enjoy stunts.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with that. and it's always pretty cool to like learn a new skill. Or so I definitely do, but I'd say the character-driven pieces I find more attractive to me.
And is there a way of prepping that you do? Is it obviously, you know, they're not. You've played a real person or two, you know, based on a real person, but by and large, you're playing fictional characters. Like, do you have a way of getting into the mindset? Because obviously, you know, this is, you know, a much sort of grittier person, for lack of a better word, than you seem to be. Though this could be acting too, for all I know. You know, there's how do you find that person?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a coach that I work with. And we will go through the script and work kind of from the ground up. And for me, you know, finding personal things that I can draw from are always a powerful tool. And this person that I've been working with, she's known me forever, and she's pretty much a second mom to me. So she's just so close and knows my life on such a personal level. So for her to be able to kind of help me tap in to these different characters has been incredibly helpful.
Oh yeah, I gotta imagine having that helping hand, because this idea that, you know, most actors sit alone in a room and they you know, method. There's no right or wrong way, but I feel like much more common. There's people of a team. You know, takes a village, that kind of thing.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think sometimes, at least for me, it's nice getting out of my head and being able to talk out loud about it. But everyone's different.
Oh yeah, and sort of as we wrap up, you've done a handful of different things, but is there, you know, as your name gets bigger and as you have the ability to say more no's and then be pickier, do you have a thing in the back of your head you go, well, if I could make this, I would be really delighted, if it's like a genre, or even if there's like a project that you know of that you're just like, oh, if they ever made this movie, I want to be in?
Oh gosh. It's always such a hard question. I think kind of what I was saying earlier, I feel like there are upcoming directors and, you know, insanely talented directors who have been around forever. And for me to be able to like work with someone that I look up to and that I'm like a massive fan of, I think would be, that to me is my goal right now, I guess, is what I'm looking to do is to work with people that inspire me. That's where I'm at right now, at least in my career. Those are my goals.
Makes sense. I mean, and that's a thing that I feel like also comes with success. Like the more successful you are and the better you're doing your job, the easier it also becomes to be in those rooms, because it's all about being, you know, having the opportunity, because there's no, you know, I'm sure that like the best actor on the planet right now, you know, is someone no one's heard of, who's, you know, acting was like off Broadway somewhere, you know, and if Tarantino and Scorsese found them, you know, they'd be like, oh, we got them, but you know, they're not in the room.
We got them.
Yeah. So there's something about like just being in front of people. Like I was listening, it was weird. You know, the Oscar campaign this year is very weird. Everything's over Zoom. So they'll instead of having like me moderate a Q&A, they'll have like the actors' friends, which is cool, but also I'm just like, Matt Damon stole my money. Great. So like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon did one for Affleck's movie, and they're talking about how like when they did auditions, you know, they were always so nervous, and then they made a movie where they first were auditioning people, and they realized, oh, we shouldn't have been as nervous. Like every director is like desperate for us to succeed. They want to finish this. They want to find the person. So like, you know, if you come in and you're
I like that outlook.
Yeah, they're just like, if you're off book, you've already done like half the work, because they're like, okay, this person knows the part. I'm just looking to see if they can do it, as opposed to, okay, they're reading the thing, but it sounds like it could be good, so I have to talk to them again. Like it was kind of interesting. I was like, that's something I would never have thought about.
Totally.
Yeah, but
yeah, I bet it's just so interesting. Yeah, being on the other side, and that's really interesting.
Oh yeah, and who knows? That could be somewhere where you're at one day, where you can be the one being like, you can, you know. I would love to see it. I think every interesting actor and actress like have a movie in them because they know what works and what doesn't. You know when a director is not helping.
Totally, man. You absolutely. You learn a lot.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank
you.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really great talking with you.
Awesome. Likewise. Stay safe.